A Christmas Carol, published by Prof. LLC. A Christmas Carol, written by Charles Dickens in 1843. This edition is adapted into clear, modern English, choosing content over play of words, designed for language learners and casual listeners who want to enjoy the story without grueling language barriers.
Chapter 4, The Last of the Spirits. The phantom approached slowly, gravely, and silently. As it drew near, Scrooge fell to his knees. The very air through which this spirit moved seemed to scatter gloom and mystery. The ghost was shrouded in a deep black garment. It concealed its head, its face, and its entire form, leaving nothing visible except one outstretched hand. If not for this hand, it would have been difficult to distinguish the spirit from the darkness of the night. Scrooge felt that the ghost was tall and majestic, and its mysterious presence filled him with a deep dread. The spirit neither spoke nor moved.
"I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come?"
asked Scrooge. The spirit did not answer, but pointed forward with its hand.
"You are about to show me shadows of things that have not happened yet, but will happen in the future."
Scrooge continued.
"Is that so, spirit?"
The upper folds of the garment moved slightly for a moment, as if the spirit had nodded. That was the only answer Scrooge received. Although he was now used to ghostly company, Scrooge feared this silent figure so much that his legs shook under him. He could hardly stand when he prepared to follow it. The spirit paused for a moment, as if giving him time to recover. But this only made Scrooge feel worse. He felt a vague horror, knowing that behind that dark hood, ghostly eyes were watching him closely, while he could see nothing but a hand and a heap of black cloth.
"Ghost of the future,"
he cried,
"I fear you more than any spirit I have seen. But because I know your purpose is to do me good, and because I hope to become a different man from what I was, I am ready to go with you, and do so with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me?"
It gave no reply. The hand pointed straight ahead.
"Let on,"
said Scrooge.
"let on. The night is passing fast, and I know this time is precious to me. Let on, spirit."
The phantom moved away, and Scrooge followed in its shadow. They did not seem to enter the city. Rather, the city seemed to spring up around them. They stood in the heart of the business district, on the stock exchange. Merchants were hurrying around, jingling money in their pockets, talking in groups, and looking at their watches, just as Scrooge had seen them do many times before. The spirit stopped near a small group of businessmen. Seeing that the hand was pointing to them, Scrooge stepped closer to listen.
"No,"
said a fat man with a double chin.
"I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead."
"When did he die?"
asked another.
"Last night, I believe."
"Why, what was the matter with him?"
asked a third, taking a pinch of snuff.
"I thought he would never die."
"God knows,"
said the first man, yawning.
"What has he done with his money?"
asked a red-faced businessman.
"I haven't heard,"
said the man with the double chin, yawning again.
"Left it to his company, perhaps. He didn't leave it to me. That's all I know."
The men laughed at this joke.
"It will be a very cheap funeral."
The same speaker continued.
"Because I don't know anyone who will go to it. What if we all go together? I don't mind going if a lunch is provided,"
noted the red-faced gentleman.
"If I go, I must be fed."
Another laugh followed.
"Well, I am the most indifferent after all,"
said the first speaker.
"since I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll go if anyone else does. Come to think of it, I might have been his best friend, because we always stopped to talk whenever we met. Goodbye.
The men walked away and joined other groups. Scrooge knew them and looked at the spirit for an explanation, but the ghost glided onward. They entered a street where the finger pointed to two men meeting. Scrooge listened again. He knew these men well. They were wealthy and important business owners, and Scrooge had always wanted to be respected by them, strictly in a business sense.
How are you?
Said one.
How are you?
Returned the other.
Well.
Said the first.
Old Scratch has finally got his own,
So I hear.
Returned the second.
Cold, isn't it?
Yes, seasonable for Christmas. You're not a skater, I suppose?
No, no. Other things to think about. Good morning.
They parted immediately. That was the end of their conversation. Scrooge was surprised that the spirit attached importance to such trivial conversations, but knowing there must be a hidden meaning, he tried to figure it out. It could not be about the death of Jacob Marley, since that was in the past and this ghost showed the future. He couldn't think of anyone else immediately. However, he resolved to remember every word and scene, especially to watch his own future self, hoping it would give him the clue. He looked for himself in his usual corner on the exchange, but another man was standing there. Although the clock showed his usual time, his future self was not in the crowd. This did not surprise him much, since he was planning to change his life and hoped his absence meant he had succeeded. Beside him stood the silent, dark phantom, its hand pointing. Scrooge felt that the unseen eyes were looking at him closely, which made him shudder. They left the busy streets and went into a poor, dirty part of town. The streets were narrow and muddy, the shops were wretched, and the people looked miserable, half-naked, and drunk. The whole area smelled of crime and poverty. Deep in this slum stood a low shop that bought scrap metal, old rags, bones, and grease. On the floor were piles of rusty keys, chains, nails, scales, and old iron. Sitting near a brick stove was a gray-haired man of 70, known as Old Joe, who was smoking a pipe. Scrooge and the Phantom entered the shop just as a woman carrying a heavy bundle sneaked in. Right after her, another woman with a bundle entered, followed by a man in faded black clothes. When they recognized each other, they all burst out laughing.
"The charwoman is first.
Cried the first woman.
The laundress is second, and the undertaker's assistant is third. Look here, Old Joe, what a coincidence that we all met here."
"You couldn't have met in a better place,"
said Old Joe, taking the pipe from his mouth.
"Come into the back room. Let me shut the shop door first. How it squeaks! There isn't a rustier piece of metal than these hinges. Come in, come in."
The back room was just a space behind a curtain of rags. Joe sat down, and the first woman threw her bundle on the floor, looking defiantly at the others.
"What does it matter, Mrs. Dilber?
She said.
Everyone has a right to take care of themselves. He always did."
That's true.
Said the laundress.
Nobody did it more than him.
So don't stand there staring as if you're afraid. Who's going to know? We aren't going to tell on each other.
No, indeed.
Said Mrs. Dilber and the man.
Good.
Said the woman.
Who is hurt by the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
Laughed Mrs. Dilber.
If that miserly old man wanted to keep his things after he died,
The woman continued.
why wasn't he kind during his life? If he had been, he would have had someone to look after him when he died, instead of lying there gasping his last breath all alone.
That is the absolute truth.
Said Mrs. Dilber.
It's a judgment on him.
I wish it were a heavier judgment.
said the woman.
And it would have been if I could have found anything else. Open the bundle, Joe, and tell me what it's worth. Speak plainly.
But the man in faded black wanted to go first. He produced his stolen goods, a couple of seals, a pencil case, sleeve buttons, and a cheap brooch. Joe examined them, chalked the prices on the wall, and added them up.
That's your total,
said Joe.
and I wouldn't give you another penny. Who's next?
Mrs. Dilber was next. She produced sheets, towels, some clothes, 2 old silver spoons, sugar tongs, and a few boots. Her prices were chalked on the wall too.
I always pay too much to ladies,
said Joe.
If you ask for more, I'll take off half a crown.
Now open my bundle, Joe,
said the first woman. Joe knelt down, untied many knots, and dragged out a large, heavy roll of dark fabric.
What is this?
asked Joe.
Bed curtains?
Yes.
Laughed the woman.
Bed curtains.
You don't mean you took them down, rings and all, while he was lying there dead?
Asked Joe.
Yes, I did.
Replied the woman.
Why not?
You were born to make a fortune.
Said Joe.
I won't hesitate to take what I can get for the sake of a man like him.
She returned.
Don't drip oil on the blankets. His blankets?
Asked Joe.
Whose else do you think?
Replied the woman.
He won't catch cold without them, I'm sure.
I hope he didn't die of a contagious disease?
Asked Joe, pausing.
Don't worry about that.
Said the woman.
I wouldn't have stayed near him if he did. And look at this shirt. It's the best one he had. They were going to bury him in it, but I took it off. A cheap calico shirt is good enough for a corpse. He can't look any uglier than he already does.
Scrooge listened in horror. As they sat around their stolen goods in the dim light, he viewed them with disgust. They looked like demons fighting over a corpse.
Ha, ha.
Laughed the woman as Joe handed them their money.
This is the end of it. He frightened everyone away when he was alive, only to benefit us when he died.
Spirit,
Said Scrooge, shaking from head to foot.
I see, I see. The fate of this unhappy man could be my own. My life is heading that way now. Merciful heaven, what is this?
He stepped back in terror. The scene changed instantly. He was now standing next to a bed, a bare, curtained bed. Under a ragged sheet lay a covered body. The room was very dark and silent. A pale light from the window fell onto the bed. On it, robbed, unwatched, and uncared for, lay the body of the dead man. Scrooge looked at the phantom. Its hand pointed to the head of the corpse. The sheet was adjusted so loosely that Scrooge could have easily uncovered the face by raising his hand. He thought about doing it, but he had no more power to do so than to dismiss the ghost. O cold, rigid, dreadful death, this was his kingdom. Yet for a loved and respected person, death cannot make the features ugly. The quiet hand was once generous, the heart was warm, and the mind was true. But for this man, there was no one to mourn. Scrooge thought, if this man were raised up now, what would be his thoughts? Money, greed, hard deals. They have brought him to a lonely end indeed. The man lay in the dark, empty house, with not a single person to say he had been kind. A cat was scratching at the door, and rats were gnawing under the floor. Scrooge did not dare to think about why they were there.
Spirit,
He said,
this is a terrifying place. I will not forget its lesson. Let us go.
Still, the ghost pointed to the head of the body.
I understand you,
Scrooge said,
and I would do it if I could. But I do not have the power, Spirit. I do not have the power.
The ghost seemed to look at him.
If there is anyone in this town who feels any emotion caused by this man's death,
Scrooge begged.
show them to me, spirit.
The phantom spread its robe like a wing and then withdrew it, revealing a bright room where a mother and her children were. She was waiting for someone anxiously. She walked up and down, started at every sound, and looked out the window. She tried to sew but could not concentrate. Finally, a knock was heard. She ran to the door to meet her husband. His face was careworn, but he had a look of quiet relief that he tried to hide. He sat down to eat his dinner. After a long silence, she asked,
What is the news? Is it good or bad?
Bad.
He answered.
Are we ruined?
No, there is still hope, Caroline.
Did he agree to give us more time?
She asked in surprise.
He is past giving time.
Said her husband.
He is dead.
She was a gentle, patient woman, but she was secretly thankful to hear this news, and she clasped her hands. She quickly asked for forgiveness, feeling sorry for her reaction, but the relief in her heart was real.
What the woman told me last night when I tried to ask for a delay was true.
The husband said.
He was dying. Our debt will be transferred to someone else, but before then we will have the money. And even if we don't, it is highly unlikely we will find a creditor as merciless as he was. We can sleep with light hearts tonight, Caroline.
Yes, their hearts were lighter. The children's faces were brighter. It was a happier house because of this man's death.
Let me see some tenderness connected with death.
Scrooge pleaded.
Or that dark room we just left will haunt me forever.
The ghost led him through familiar streets. Scrooge looked for himself, but could not see his image anywhere. They entered Bob Cratchit's house. The mother and children were sitting around the fire. It was quiet, very quiet. The noisy little Cratchits were still as statues in the corner, looking up at Peter, who was reading a book. The mother and daughters were sewing.
And he took a child, and set him in the midst of them.
Scrooge heard these words as he crossed the threshold. Peter must have read them. Why did he stop reading? Mrs. Cratchit laid her work on the table and covered her face.
The color hurts my eyes.
She said. The color, poor Tiny Tim.
They are better now.
She said.
The candlelight makes them weak, and I wouldn't want your father to see my eyes weak when he comes home. It must be almost time for him.
He's a bit late.
Peter answered, closing the book.
I think he has walked a little slower these past few evenings, Mother.
They were quiet again. Finally, the mother said in a cheerful voice that cracked only once.
I have seen him walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I.
Said Peter.
Often. So have I.
Said another child.
But Tim was very light to carry.
She continued.
And his father loved him so much that it was no trouble at all. And there is your father at the door.
She ran to meet him. Little Bob entered, wearing his scarf. His tea was ready on the stove. The children tried to help him and comforted him. The two younger Cratchits climbed on his knees, placing their cheeks against his face. Bob was cheerful with them and spoke kindly to everyone. He looked at the sewing on the table and praised their hard work. He said it would be finished long before Sunday.
Sunday. You went there today, then, Robert?
Asked his wife.
Yes, my dear.
Said Bob.
I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green it is. But you will see it often. I promised him I would walk there every Sunday. My little child.
Cried Bob.
My little child.
He broke down and cried. He couldn't help it. He left the room and went upstairs to the bedroom, which was decorated with Christmas greenery. A chair was set next to the bed where the child lay. Bob sat down, composed himself, and kissed Tim's little face. He felt at peace and went back downstairs. They gathered around the fire and talked. Bob told them about the extraordinary kindness of Scrooge's nephew, whom he had met in the street. The nephew, seeing Bob looking sad, asked what was wrong.
"He is the kindest spoken gentleman,"
said Bob.
I told him, and he said, "I am heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, and heartily sorry for your good wife. I don't know how he knew you were a good wife."
Everyone knows that,
said Peter.
"Well said, my boy,"
cried Bob.
"He gave me his card and told me to come see him if we needed anything. It wasn't for anything he might do for us, but for his kind words. It felt as if he really knew our Tiny Tim and felt our grief. He is a good soul,"
said Mrs. Cratchit.
"You would be sure of it if you spoke to him,"
said Bob.
"I wouldn't be surprised if he helped Peter find a better job. Listen to that, Peter,"
said Mrs. Cratchit.
"And then Peter will find a wife and start his own home,"
said one of the girls.
get along.
Laughed Peter.
"Could happen one day,
said Bob.
but however we part from one another, I am sure we will never forget poor Tiny Tim, or this first parting among us."
Never, father.
They all cried.
"And I know,"
said Bob,
"that when we remember how patient and mild he was, we will not argue among ourselves and forget him."
No, never, father.
"I am very happy.
said little Bob.
I am very happy."
They all kissed him, and Peter shook his hand. The spirit of Tiny Tim was truly a blessing.
Spectre,
Said Scrooge.
I feel our parting is near. Tell me, who was that dead man we saw?
The ghost of Christmas yet to come led him back to the business district, but did not show him his own self. Scrooge begged him to stop.
This corner
Said Scrooge.
is where my office has been for a long time. I see the building. Let me see what I will be in the future.
The spirit stopped, but pointed in a different direction.
My office is over there.
Scrooge exclaimed.
Why do you point away?
The hand did not move. Scrooge ran to his office window and looked in. It was still an office, but the furniture was different, and the man sitting in the chair was not him. He returned to the spirit. They walked until they reached an iron gate. Scrooge looked around before entering. It was a churchyard, overgrown with weeds and grass, a neglected place choked with grave. The spirit stood among the grave and pointed down to one. Scrooge walked toward it, trembling.
Before I go closer to that gravestone,
Said Scrooge.
answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only?
Still, the ghost pointed down to the grave.
A man's actions lead to a certain end if he continues in them.
Said Scrooge.
But if he changes his path, the end will change. Tell me it is so with what you show me.
The spirit did not move. Scrooge crept toward the grave, trembling. Following the pointed finger, he read the name on the stone, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Am I the man who lay on the bed?
He cried, falling to his knees. The finger pointed from the grave to him and back again.
No, spirit. Oh, no, no.
The finger was still there.
Spirit,
He cried, grabbing its robe.
hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I would have been without this lesson. Why show me this if I am past all hope?
For the first time, the hand seemed to shake.
Good spirit,
He begged, falling to the ground.
your nature pities me. Assure me that I can change these shadows by changing my life.
The hand trembled.
I will honor Christmas in my heart, and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three will guide me. I will not forget their lessons. Oh, tell me I may erase the name on this stone.
In his panic, he caught the spectral hand. It tried to free itself, but Scrooge held on tight. The spirit pushed him away. Holding up his hands in a final prayer to change his fate, Scrooge saw a change in the phantom's hood and dress. It shrank, collapsed, and turned into a bedpost.
This has been A Christmas Carol, published by Prof LLC. Production copyright 2026 by Prof LLC. Thank you for listening.